Boring cars. They're not our thing. Never have been. Every year we pick the cars that best embody our No Boring Cars mantra for our annual All-Stars Awards. The cars that we brought to Spring Mountain Motorsports Ranch in Pahrump, Nevada span a wide array of segments and classes, and we find each model extremely intriguing in its own unique ways. Are there entry rules, price caps, or tedious performance tests? No. We're looking for the cars that make us a bit teary-eyed when we switch off the ignition. Not that we always agree on which cars those are.
If you see an AMG GTS, you are not mistaking that for anyone's base Carrera. It's also the most phallic thing I've ever seen. I think if we put a pair of truck nuts on that, we'd be making the ultimate statement.
The power you expect because you see the numbers. Yeah. But coming out of production race cars, I'm just stunned by how good these brakes are. These are big, heavy cars that are carrying lots of speed.
On a tight track.
On a tight track, and you just nail the brakes, and I mean, it's just, the stopping power is just a miss.
I love the Golf R, I always have, just because it has a breadth of capability that some of these other cars might dwarf it because it won't be as good on the track.
You have a Ferrari 488 GTB, McLaren 570S, an Audi R8 V10 Plus, and all of those are fantastic to drive on the track. They're so much fun. And then you get in that thing and it's just like, you can't find the limit of grip, but we haven't really taken it on a street yet because we have to get it set up, so maybe it's going to ruin
it. Has to be
it
has to be set up by the ISA crew.
Yeah.
For every possible condition.
The 570S profile I think is the nicest. It's the details that I just can't get over, just the swoopiness.
And look, far be it for me to assume that everyone's going to make cars for hobbits, but I cannot get comfortable with that.
I thought the McLaren felt spooky. I'm the only one who feels that way. So I just never really felt like the rear was totally planted.
Because I felt it was a little tail happy, but just because I was, teasing it in. I wasn't getting so much understeer.
You're a rock star.
Steady state in a street car doesn't work for anybody, really,
right.
If you want to go fast.
When I'm looking around the lot, the most significant car to me by far is a GT350. It's a rare that a car can so successfully combine muscle car and sports car.
These are great comments. I don't understand why your stories are so boring.
After a few days of driving and arguing, we finally whittle down the field and dub this year's All-Stars. The McLaren 570S, Shelby GT350, Ferrari 488 GTB, Porsche Cayman Gt4, Volkswagen Golf R, Mazda MX-5 Miata, and the Volvo Xc90. We leave Spring Mountain in our 7 All-Stars and head for the canyon roads in northern Nevada, where we can spend some intimate time with our winners. This 2016 Mazda MX-5 Miata is a lot like the original Miata, but while it still has the same basic construction, a front engine mounted long ways, rear-wheel drive, and a 6-speed manual transmission in the middle, there's a lot of really cool new features that we love on this new ND Miata, like this, the fast-folding cloth top roof. We're also in love with the car's new swoopy, sexy body style. You can get this car right here for less than $30,000. So while there are people out there that might have wanted more from the all-new Mazda Miata, more power, more performance, we have to applaud Mazda for sticking with something simple, basic, and what they've done so well for so long.
Ford and Shelby have been trying to turn the Mustang into a real world-beating sports car for a long time now. And this GT350 is the car that can pretty much go toe-to-toe with BMW M4, Porsche 911, and it does it for a lot less money. It's a 5.2-liter V8, produces over 500 horsepower. But the most special thing about it is it has a flat plane crank, which, this is technology used in supercars and Ferraris and Lamborghinis. It allows the engine to rev a lot higher. And in fact, the red line on this car is over 8,000 RPM, and it just wails at that speed. The Shelby GT350 is such a great car to drive. It delivers such a tremendous experience, and it does all of that for a rock-bottom price. And for that reason, it's one of our 2016 All-Stars.
Volkswagen GTI has been one of our favorite cars in the past, and now Volkswagen has upped the ante yet again with the all-new Volkswagen Golf R. The Golf R gives us all of the same functionality and practicality as a GTI, but now the 2-liter turbo engine has been increased to 292 horsepower. It has all-wheel drive and a 6-speed manual transmission or an optional dual-clutch automatic. As a videographer at Automobile Magazine, I'm always carrying tons of junk around with me on these trips. This has no problem hauling everything that I need to carry. And this Golf R has been an amazing vehicle for me to be able to ring out and keep up with these other guys out here. All-wheel drive and 292 horsepower, all for under $40,000, and in a practical package like this, can't help but be an all-star.
Now, of all the performance cars we tested at 2016 All-Stars, Cayman Gt4, I think universally applauded as the easiest to drive despite the experience, despite the skill level of the driver, near its limit. And even if you're not near the limit, it rewards you with great feedback. We expected it to maybe be a little rough, a little loud, a little annoying on long road trips, but no, it was driven from Los Angeles to Spring Mountain in Pahrump, hundreds of miles, driven over these great mountain roads here in California. No complaints about noise. Now, as a Cayman owner, I could go on and on all day about this car, but that sums up why, in fact, it's more than worthy of being selected as a 2016 Automobile All-Star.
You know, one of our all-stars this year is the Volvo Xc90. It has a wonderful build quality to it on the inside. The interior looks fantastic. The center stack is one of the most unique and fantastic center stacks we've seen. Really intuitive, touch screen interfaces. The instrument panel is wonderfully done. The back seat, the third row, a little tight, but folds flat really easily. It's really quiet out on the road, drives really well, looks great as well. There's no doubt to us that this is one of the best SUVs on the market. This one, as equipped, is $66,000, so relatively affordable for someone looking for, you know, a little bit higher end vehicle in this class.
This is the Ferrari 488 GTB. I've had the good fortune to drive it for a few days, and I have to tell you, it's an amazing piece. It's just gorgeous. I mean, it looks beautiful from every single angle. It's not an easy thing to do. It's just a beautiful car. But what's it like to drive? I can tell you the power is completely intoxicating. Massive horsepower. It basically grabs the horizon and shoves it down your throat. It's unbelievable. The visibility out of the car is superb. You can corner carve with this car as good as any car I've ever driven. Braking, superb carbon brakes, excellent. The handling itself, when you're turning in, very, very neutral. So it's going to be good for any number of people. But I'll tell you what, it's worth the price of admission for this car, as expensive as it is. And is it an all-star? You bet it's an all-star, absolutely.
This is the new Mclaren 570S, and let me tell you why it's a 2016 Automobile All-Star. First of all, it starts at only around $185,000. You pay about the same for a garden variety Porsche 911 Turbo, and the McLaren, well, it's a bona fide mid-engine exotic. Back here, a twin-turbo 3.8-liter V8, making 562 horsepower, and made it to a 7-speed sequential shift transmission. The tub is made out of carbon fiber, just like McLaren's Formula One race cars. In fact, when you're sitting in it, the small steering wheel, paddle shifters, this panoramic view, you feel almost like you're sitting in a single-seat race car. And then, of course, there's this color, straight out of Sesame Street. You gotta love this McLaren. No other car turns more heads or delivers more thrills for the buck.
So, there you have it. Automobile's 2016 All-Stars.